Hey folks, Gary Dean here with Sentiment Timing, and this is our technical video report for Monday, March 23rd, 2026. So let's see what happened with the markets through the eyes of the matrix. We had a massive gap up, and that had to do when Trump said that they were doing a ceasefire for 5 days. And what I'm showing you is on Friday, what we had here was we had institutions that were buying this entire dip, and you can see it even from our buy-sell pressure. It was moving up. So, like I said, I don't know if anybody has an in on that, but somehow institutions were on the right side of this gap. But notice what happened here. Once we got up, we got right into our the primary distribution zone, and from there you can see we had liquidity divergence sell signals here. So this was an easy short right here because we had even our buy sell pressure was moving down. We had we knew that institutions were selling this candle, and from there we had the spiders go from 662.66 down to 653.84, so almost 9 points, and that's after having a gap up from here from 644 all the way up to 662, so 18 points. So just these two trades alone, I mean, I didn't carry this over the weekend, but I mean, anybody that owns the software and was just going by what the matrix was telling you, heck, they probably made close to 30 points today on the spiders alone. So let's take these off. So because we knew that the spiders dropped 9 points after rallying 17. So let's move these off now and start getting to what's going on. So now what we want to do, we want to figure out where is support. And so let's just take a measure here and figure out where we are. And if we notice, we have 84 bars. So let's put that in. Dark, we're going to put in 84, and this is going to give us our support zone. So here we go. You can see, hang on, let me move this. Okay, so here's our support zone. This is where I would be a buyer. I would be in this area here, anywhere from the 653.67, 651.52, and then we have our Gann line and our secondary that's at the 648.55. So if that comes down there, most likely we already see that liquidity is coming down to the bottom. So we may just have a double bottom or something, here. But in any case, this is the zone that we want to buy. We don't want to buy when it's doing this because we saw institutions selling. So that's our support zone. If it comes down to our secondary, you're going to see that's closing the gap at 648.55. As long as we're looking okay on the 15-minute chart, meaning that we're not having any massive selling or anything going on, what we'd be doing is probably looking to get long at the support level, as long as we have liquidity that is supporting us. And if that's the case, we just start building our position. Again, if something happens geopolitically, like the war or something like that, and we see panic selling, we have to pick and choose. Do we want to, get long if we have liquidity that's dropping? But in any case, that's that. So if we head higher, our resistance areas we already made it into the middle. So we're looking at the 664.49, and then up at the 670.14, and that actually would make sense if we got up here, because that would be very close to closing this gap, and that would actually fit the normal buy zone that we get off of a 15-minute or even an hourly chart here. We saw buying going on. So it's seeing this gap filled would not surprise me at all. So seeing a move up to 60.70. But if we need lower, then what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to watch down at the matrix down here, where we have our Gann level at 639.37 and then 635.72. So if these lows are taken out, these are going to be our targets. We have a lot of duration left right here, so the bulls have gas in the tank. But you can see on this move, we did see a little bit of selling going on. So, we got to keep an eye on it. There's no sell signals at all right now. But you can see liquidity was actually moving a little bit lower. So support levels are there. On the upside, we already showed you our resistance lines. And now let's take a look at IWM. So again, these two trades alone were really just an awesome trade on it, and just shows you exactly how the matrix works with the liquidity and why you really, if you don't have this, you're really running blind, and that's I'm going to stick to that. So let's take a look at IWM here. This is no, we don't want to look at a one. No, we don't need that. Let's go to a 5-minute chart. So for IWM, we actually got a great position right here. We took the short side of it. Well, we took a straddle just because I didn't know if we were going to get a massive squeeze. Still worked out fantastic because we had IWM go from 251 all the way down to 246.84. So we did very, very well on that trade, and then we got. We ended up doing another straddle when we were right down here because we started getting buy signals. So we did that, and we were able to close those up there. And then we did another one when it was at the when price was at 249.50, and we took the 250 and the 249, and we're able to cash in on that. So it worked out really, really well today. And again, it's just the signals. That's all I'm doing on this, is just following the signals. And if we look at the 15-minute chart, well, I'm sorry, if we're going to continue down, these are going to be our support levels: 245.85, 244.52, and then 242.69. Those are our support levels down there where I'd be interested buying. They may have to close this gap. 15-minute chart, again, you can see on the chart, this is what makes it so easy right here, is you can see we got the buy signals up there. So it was telling us that you have to be very careful on the long side. Ran right into our secondary, and from there, that's where the drop started. And now we're looking at when we were dropping, we didn't really have any clear buy signals, but it was the 5-minute that I was going off of when I took the buy down here. So that worked out really well on it. So again, on the upside, what we want to do is just keep an eye on where would be the next the resistance level. So I'm going to switch this to an hourly chart here. Intraday, hour, and we're going to measure what would be the next pivot, because we've already made it through the the 15-minute. Well, we made it up to the secondary. So if it gets above that, what we're going to be looking at is, well, I think that might be, it could be all right. We could be looking at the 255, but I think what I'd rather do is go a little bit shorter time and say from this pivot here, use that anchor, and we're looking at 115 bars. So let's put up our new resistance here. Come on. So 215. Alrighty, and let's take a look. So this is, right around that 253. So if we get above it, there's the primary from the pivot from here, we're looking at the 254.65, 258, and then our secondary is at the 262. We really don't. You can see we had a buy signal on that with the liquidity, but there's really I don't really see too many warning signs. So I think tomorrow I'm really kind of up in the air. I'm hoping that they could come down where we can get a better entry on the long side. But if they give us a gap up and it goes into our resistance and we see selling, I'm going to just simply switch to the short side. It doesn't really make that much of a difference to me. So let's see what plays out tomorrow. Again, the software did a fantastic job today. Simply just watching where the pivot, what the liquidity was doing, and taking the position that they were running with, and we were able to do very well today. We made 3,300, but again, on Friday we did not have a good day. So that's just making up some of the stuff. But if you notice on it, we're still, we're at 439. So we've been hovering between the 435 and 444 all year. So it's things are still going well. It's just Friday was a bad day. So let's see what plays out tomorrow. Enjoy your night, and I'll talk to you guys in the morning.